In about a week, Google will try to convince you to forget the Pixel 10 Pro XL ever existed. But before you spend your money on the Pixel 11 series, we need to talk about the phone that it's replacing. This is my final review of the Pixel 10 Pro XL. It's flawed, it's frustrating, and somehow still one of my favorite phones of the entire year. Let's kick it off with the design and the build quality because the design has aged incredibly well. I love how unique it still is. It's not quite as quirky as the older Pixels, but it still has that DNA, but in a much more mature and polished package. And though I kind of miss the camera module of the Google Pixel 6 series, it's undeniable that the 10 Pro XL's camera module is classier and more durable. I very rarely use a case on this phone, and it has held up incredibly well. Even the polished, shiny frame still looks great, even if, yes, I would give anything for Google just to make it matte, and I do still think it's a tad too heavy, and because of the weight and the polished frame, it's not a deal breaker, but it's definitely something to note. But that matte back coating in this beautiful jade color still looks incredible. I really love this design. It's just so clean, and the jade color is subtle yet looks great when the light hits it just right. Absolutely beautiful. And I won't create a separate section for this, but PixelSnap is still awesome. It looks just like the iPhone MagSafe hardware, and it works just like it too. No complaints here, other than I wish more Android manufacturers would do this. And the display is terrific. It's huge, it's high resolution, it's fluid with the 120Hz adaptive refresh rate, and for someone who lives in the sunshine state of Florida, it's freaking bright outdoors. Whether I'm watching YouTube, scrolling through Reddit, reading and replying to comments, it looks great. It's just one of those displays that you stop thinking about because it simply does everything pretty well. I'm not sure I would change anything except the thing that I want all companies to start copying, and that's the anti-reflective coating that we see on the Galaxy Ultras. Even if it's not as aggressive, I would love to see Google make their own version to bring down some reflections. It makes a huge difference outdoors, obviously, but definitely indoors as well, and especially when watching content or gaming. And battery life, I mean, it's not perfect, but it certainly isn't bad. Matter of fact, it's better than previous generations, just not as good as what something like Oppo is doing. I can easily get through a full day, and for most of you, that's all you'll ever need. Charge it overnight, use it for the day, rinse and repeat. I just hope to see an even larger battery with the Pixel 11 Pro XL announcement coming soon, or maybe already, depending on when I release this video. If you're using mostly Wi-Fi, it's about 8 to 9 hours of screen on time, and if you're using a ton of mobile data, it's more toward around 7 hours. Not horrible, but could always be better. And charging is also under that same kind of category. It's not a deal breaker, especially if you charge overnight, but I wouldn't say it's amazing. You get 45 watts wired, which is just fine, and 25 watts Qi 2 wireless charging. It's enough for me not to hate the charging experience, but definitely not fast enough to praise it. Now let's talk performance, and let's just ignore the numbers for right now. The phone feels smooth, the animations are polished, the normal day-to-day use is about as refined as you could ask for. It's genuinely a good experience. And no, I wasn't paid by Google to tell you that, and I bought this phone with my own money. It really does feel good to use. But then we get to the Tensor chip. To all of my Pixel fans and loyalists, even you have to admit this is getting a little bit ridiculous. It's not a bad phone and the performance is fine, but for the price, we deserve a chip that is closer in performance that we see from Snapdragon and frankly, Apple. Most people call the Pixel the iPhone of Android, but it could use some more horsepower. Luckily, you do get 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is becoming harder to procure for this AI-focused phone, ironically, due to the rise of AI use, but it's enough RAM to make this phone feel fairly future-proof. But even if the performance could use an upgrade or two, the software is still one of the biggest reasons I enjoy using the Pixel 10 Pro XL. It feels clean, deliberate, and surprisingly light. And there's an attention to detail that makes the entire interface feel more cohesive. I'm currently running the latest Android beta, and I really like the direction Google is taking overall. The animations feel more playful, the transitions are definitely smoother, and the small bounces and shape changes give the software a lot more personality without making it feel like a toy. It's the little things that you don't really notice unless you stop and look at them. like the way the notifications bounce and the phone vibrates when swiping them away, or the squiggly lines when playing music. Google has even started adding some of the customization options Pixel users have been asking for years now, which is great to see. And you can't really talk about software without talking about those amazing Pixel features. Magic Q is probably the best example of what both the potential and the current limitations are. On paper, it sounds incredible. The phone can understand what you are doing across different apps and surface useful information exactly when you need it. Flight details, reservations, addresses, calendar events, messages, and reminders, but using it in real life, I've had it be helpful maybe like 5 times since I purchased it. And that's kind of where a lot of smartphone AI currently sits. The ideas are exciting, but just not something as useful as it gets marketed to us as. But something like Voice Translate is seriously cool as long as you can get over some of the funny voices it produces sometimes.
Hey there, how are you doing? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Great, I hope you have a good day. Genial, espero que tengas un buen día.
Mire, tenemos que ir a la tienda para comprar un poco de pollo porque más tarde vamos a cocinar. ¿Qué te parece?
Look, we have to go to the store to buy some chicken because we're going to cook later. What do you think?
Bueno, no dice nada, así que creo que estás de acuerdo.
Well, he doesn't say anything, so I think you agree.
Suscríbanse para más.
Subscribe for more.
And I have genuinely loved Camera Coach way more than I expected. It does a great job at recommending you different angles, zoom levels, or just overall framing to get you the shot that you want or the shot it recommends based on your current scenario that the camera is looking at. Everything else is still just as good as it's always been, like Now Playing, Call for Me, and Hold for Me, for example. I mean, basically, if you like Android and don't want the hassle of setting up a bunch of custom settings, get a Pixel. Right out of the box, there are so many features that you will use on a daily basis that will make your life even easier without having to go deep dive the settings like something like a Samsung device. The camera system is where I still have some mixed feelings, not because it's bad, because these cameras are excellent. This is basically the same thing that we got on the 9 series, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's still easily my most reliable and consistent point-and-shoot camera that I own. Colors look natural, but still pleasing, dynamic range is excellent, and it performs consistently indoors and outdoors. You rarely have to think about the shot, you just pull out the phone, you press the shutter button, and almost always the results look incredible. I absolutely love Google's image processing. The ultra-wide is also very strong with good detail, solid dynamic range, and excellent macro performance, and I still love the 5x telephoto. It gives you a useful reach without feeling too extreme, but yes, a 10x optical lens would have been fantastic to have. For that reason, I would not push the zoom much beyond 10x unless you really need to, because details definitely start to fall apart. But Pro Zoom can sometimes rescue those shots with Google's AI processing, and the results can look insane. Even if it is technically just mostly AI, just be careful with text because the AI can turn text into a completely different language, but you have to admit, photographing things like animals and long distance shots, it looks pretty good. And night sight is still one of Google's biggest strengths here. I've taken photos and scenes that looked way too dark, only for the Pixel to produce something bright, detailed, and completely shareable. And this is the best selfie camera on any phone, period. The only one I would say could compete with it would be the iPhone 17 Pro Max because of the center stage feature, which is cool, but when it comes to quality and detail, just wow. Also, it works well for video too, so no worries there. It's just a terrific front-facing camera to use. And speaking of video, it has improved a lot, but I still prefer the iPhone overall, especially for serious content creation. Samsung also gives you a ton more flexibility in my opinion, but the Pixel is no longer bad at video, not even close frankly, but I still would not call it the best out there. So overall, this is still a fantastic camera system. I just wish Google had pushed the hardware forward more this year, but even with that criticism, if I could only carry one phone for photography, I would still choose the Pixel. It's just that good. And now let's do a quick haptics and sound test against the phone with terrific haptics and sound quality, the iPhone 17 Pro Max. So should you still buy the Pixel 10 Pro XL? Whatever you do, wait for the 11 Pro XL to come out. It might even be announced by the time this video releases. If it's better than the 10, get the 11. If it's not that big of an upgrade, get the 10 Pro XL on discount. It's still a great phone with a ton of life left in it to be in your pocket for many years to come. If this video helped you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more if you like what I do. Also hit the hype button down below to help this video reach more viewers like yourselves, and I will see all of you next time.